So there you go. Now I don't know if I drove the point home well enough about the wheels, but one of the things I did not point out is that when I held up this wheel right here, this thing you're looking at is the outer race of the ball bearings. Not too hot. It's really quite horrible because it's just stamped in there. It's like a stamped in race. It's rotten. And to further illustrate that, I got the back end of the original pedal car assembly. Now I want you to listen to this. Can you hear that? Better yet, the freewheel. See, this is the drive wheel, this is the freewheel. I want you to listen to this. So sad, so sad. Somebody's mother should be called right now, and somebody should be beat up because this is that is just horrible. That's brand new, you know, and that's why I pulled it out and I said, honey, you're 3 years old now. By the time you're 16, I'll be done with your car. And guess what? You're not going to have to put up with any of this crazy stuff. I'm going to bring it a little closer so you can see what kind of high-tech stuff this is. Look at how nice that is. They just bend these little tabs over. They fill it up with bearings. And that's supposed to be a good linkage. This is supposed to be a good running wheel. Oh, isn't it nice? Why can't you pedal this around the grounds, little Susie? I don't know, Daddy. But anyway, there you go. It's just a piece of junk. I mean, I gotta say, the body of the vehicle, totally awesome. Love it. Retro. It's like the original thing. But if I'm not mistaken, the car itself was like $200. And just between you and me, I'd say that the body is worth it. Now, as far as the linkages, the pedals, the wheels, all that type of stuff, abhorrent. It's just garbage. Now, this right here is the original steering shaft. You can see the crank on the bottom here. There's two flats machined here. They got threads. That's where your steering wheel would go on. Now, you might be asking yourself, how did they implement this precision piece of mechanism here into that sheet metal body? Well, I'll tell you how they did it. This went into some pressed sheet linkages, which were no more impressive than that right there. And then this part right here just went through a hole in the sheet metal. So every time they turn the steering wheel, it sounds like fingernails on a chalkboard. It's horrible. And so that was replaced with ball bearings, a full housing, etc., etc. This whole thing, you know, had to go. The front wheel assembly, terrible. There wasn't even a bushing or anything for the front spindles. So all that had to go, and I'm going to show you that in the next video. Alright, thank you very much. Alright, so technical problems and whatnot. There is a couple things that whoever would like to build this project should know. Most all the components, well, yeah, actually all the components were designed in a Pro Engineer. I don't know if you're familiar with that program, but it's a parametric, three-dimensional designing program. And the tool paths for the CNC machine, for those parts that were machined on it, were actually done in BobCAD. And the controller for my milling machine is EMC2. Now, if any of you guys have used any milling machines, you're probably familiar with that. It's not the greatest post-processing what have you, but you know, it works pretty good. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is that if you want production drawings, that's no problem. I mean, you got, you know, PDF file format or whatever the case might be. But if you need to have the actual code for the milling machine, the actual outputted code that you can then run in your own machine, and you want to have the three-dimensional parts that I either reverse engineered or designed, that's of course the most ideal circumstance.